chance then for Sligo to steal in for a chance of their own. The Corns. Off Rocky O'Brien, that one comes. Falling very kindly for Ian Hill. Dolly. "24 minutes of the first half gone. Not much to cheer about so far, but there is now. Brilliantly dispatched. Shells take the lead. A goal that was put in very convincing fashion by Gary Haylock. Very much in the goals this season. That's his 5th on trial from Huddersfield, and you won't see a better finish than that one. McDermott. Stabbed out by Pat Byrne. Dolly. He has been a constant threat for Sligo. The challenge by Pierce Walsh on Brown results in a Shells free outside the Sligo penalty area. So Pat Byrne has this free for Shells. 4-man wall. But it's Brown back on his feet once again. Happily recovered, clipping it across, and it's the second one. Or is it? No, just on the goal line. So very near once again with Haylock, very much the man in form. A goal line clearance, so near to being number 2. So Pat Byrne side ahead. 9 minutes to go now to half-time. Haylock glancing one on towards Dolly. Players seeking a return ball. The core is injured just a moment ago, back on his feet. Hill, and a solid challenge from Fran Hitchcock. 2 Sligo players in support of Hitchcock. This is a good run forward. Just losing his balance as he was tripped outside the penalty area, and in his frustration he throws the ball away, and the referee may well overrule the original free. It's a yellow card for Hitchcock. Venting his anger there as he was tripped. A chance then for Sligo to draw level before half-time. Solidly met. That was Keegan who hit it. Sligo's best chance of the match. O'Brien finding Keegan, and that stinging shot spills away from Jody Byrne and away to safety. Shells have the free. 5.5 minutes to go to half-time. Pat Byrne leaving it behind for Reynolds. Met the head of the Curs. Bonner. Nice turn by Rooney. Rooney just trying to steal a march on Ray Duffy. Not easy to do. Neville to the feet of Brown. Dolly available on the far side, so too Pat Byrne. Byrne swinging one in. Dolly. Oh, it's a brilliant goal! That is a super goal. 5 minutes to go to half-time. As it was brilliantly set up by Brown, finding Byrne away on the far side, wide across to this near side. And what about that for a marvellous finish by Pádraig Dolly, his 4th league goal of the season.
Second goal for Shelbourne.
Shells 2, Sligo Rovers 0. Bruges then in this second half, trying to do something about the 2-0 scoreline. Lovely control here. John Byrne appeals for handball. O'Brien firing one in. It's a very good shot. Handled very capably indeed by Jody Byrne. The first real threat to that Shells goal in the second half. A fiercely hit shot, well controlled by the goalkeeper. Sligo somewhat badly hit tonight because of injuries and suspension. Their forces are rather stretched. Here's Delhi. Nice approach work. Haylock calling for it. The break, however, by Rocky O'Brien with Keegan there too. O'Brien breaks back kindly for Brown. McDermott. Hill looks very composed on the ball, Ian Hill. Brown here. Haylock on loan from Huddersfield Town. This is his second spell back with Shelbourne. O'Brien. Good early ball towards Rooney. There's a chance for Sligo here with Rooney. It's 2-1. A goal after 32 minutes of the second half. Well, Ray Rooney managed to breach that defence. The defence really caught rather flat-footed, but it was a clinical finish. 2-1 now.
Trying to get Haylock away. Haylock and Fleming were having a bit of a go there. And as the referee saw it, it was Fleming who was the instigator of that. And a free kick to Shelbourne results. Curtis Fleming was under serious pressure there from Gary Haylock, and it's resulted in a free kick to Shelbourne. And this time it's left to McNeville on his own. Coming to the picture now. Here's Neville. Again, the wall did its job. De Course blocked by O'Connor. And De Course has won another free kick. The foot of Colin Seville was high. Dublin derby being refereed by a Dublin man, but not meeting with the approval of those from Dublin 8. So, foot high from Colin Seville, and has presented Shelbourne with what's their third free kick in such a position in the 22nd minute of this first half. Dermot judges there. Bobby Brown too. That's Brown pulling away. Rod de Course and McNeville. It's rolled for Neville. This time he's made it! And McNeville scores his first goal for Shelbourne since moving from Derry City, and the visiting fans delighted. The third variation of the free kick theme. This time the wall gave way, and Dave Henderson beaten low by his right-hand post. He's famed for that kind of long-range shooting, McNeville, and 21 minutes of the match gone. He has opened the scoring. Shelbourne's 22nd League of Ireland goal in this, only their 8th match in this campaign. Goes onto the goal line. Corner played flat for Kelch. Kelch with a shot. Oh, what a goal by Pat Kelch! And that's as good a goal as you'll see this season. The ball played flat back when they were all looking into the area. It was laid on for Kelch. He came onto it and he hit it superbly, sweet as a nut, beating Jody Byrne to the wide. 19 minutes into the second half, and Pat's best position of the half capitalised upon by their fullback Pat Kelch.
Player tonight, Donal O'Brien, recently returned from Australia, replaces Jonathan Speake in attack. Shelbourne in their familiar red shirts then get us underway. Very heavy rain in Dublin just before the match. And McNeville will be hoping to put one over on his former club, Derry City. But here come the side from the northwest under so much pressure and winning a free kick. Tony McCarthy forward. Healy the taker. And the header from O'Brien going just past the far post. Good start then for the youngster. His first telling contribution in the Derry City colours. Cross from Reynolds. Off Haylock. McCarthy can't clear it. Back again by Shelbourne, and the missed kick by Pascal Vodaccan. And that gives the corner kick to Shelbourne. Anta Whelan comes forward. Brown. And up they go at the near post. And Pat Kelly is given a penalty kick for some pushing in there at the near post as Bobby Brown's corner kick came in. Timmy Dalton going for the ball there, and it's Gary Haylock falling over. So after just 13 minutes, Derry City rocked back on their heels. And it's Gary Haylock against Timmy Dalton. And 1-0 to Shelbourne. A great start then for the team chasing second place in the League of Ireland. Haylock, his 7th league goal of the season. And a great start for Pat Byrne's team. Back come Derry City. Vodakan's cross. Cleared by Shelbourne. Here's Vodakan again. Too tall for Paul Hegarty. And the cross returned in by Kevin Brady. O'Brien's knocked back. Here's Healy. And that one taking a deflection. The Shelbourne defence under severe threat from this Derry pressure. And Healy rather unlucky there. Very open match so far. Both sides giving each other lots of space. And the passing sharp and incisive. Haylock, the 1-2 with his player manager Pat Byrne. Can he get the cross in? A bit too near the keeper maybe, and off the post. And really Timmy Dalton was so lucky there. Gary Haylock really trying to find the far post. The linesman was perfectly positioned. The question is, did it cross the line? Over Dalton's head, off his thigh, and it just stayed out. McCarthy and Hegarty, and that's Bobby Brown. And he sets Gary Haylock away, probing down Derry's right flank. Haylock's been such a good addition to Shelbourne since he joined them last season. Brown with this astute pass into Pádraig Dully. Dalton comes, and the shot blocked there by Paul Curran. Another let off for Derry City. And these are difficult times for Jim McLaughlin's team. Pádraig Dully going so close. Vodakan. This is Gorman in space. Missed by O'Brien. And a lovely shot there by Kevin Brady. Had Jody Byrne really stretching in the Shelbourne goal. Kevin Brady trying to put one over on his former Shamrock Rovers colleague. Poor corner kick though. Cleared by Pat Byrne and given away by Gary Haylock. More pressure from Derry City, and here's Hegarty. Jody Byrne got down so well there, and he brought an injury into this match on his left shoulder, and one wonders, has he aggravated it there? But this was really crisply hit by Paul Hegarty, and Byrne just got down in time. So at the start of this second half, a lot for Jim McLaughlin and his coach Jack Kay to ponder. Derry City will throw everybody forward in an attempt to get back into this game. Gorman finding Vodakan. Cleared by the Shells defence, only as far as McCarthy. And here's Dully with the chance to break, and a superb pass, setting Gary Haylock away. Can he make it two? Oh, great save, Timmy Dalton. Came out and spread himself very well. A great chance for Shelbourne goes a-begging. And Gary Haylock, fed by Pádraig Dully. The timing of the pass there was just superb. And away goes Haylock. Only Timmy Dalton to beat, but the goalkeeper did superbly to keep it at 1-0. This is Carlisle. Nick Neville is the nearest player to him. And here's Healy. Finds Gorman. And this is Hegarty to Carlisle. Nice build-up by Derry. The chance to shoot. And Jody Byrne couldn't hold that one. And Sheld scrambling away. But Derry still with the possession. Healy. So much vision from the Derry City captain. Finds Brady. Cleared by Shelbourne. Poor Carlisle there moments ago, so unlucky not to get an equaliser. Ian Hill on the run. And Pat Byrne again, finding space. Always looks like he has so much time, Pat Byrne. Here's Bobby Brown, the chance to cross maybe. Haylock's on the far post. And again, Dalton wasn't so sure. A lovely, lovely move that by Shelbourne. Haylock unlucky once more. The cross by Bobby Brown. Timmy Dalton looked like he had it covered, and Paul Curran was there as well, and maybe Derry City just a little bit fortunate once more. Dully with the chest down, but loses it to Paul Hegarty, and a foul there by Pat Byrne. One of the few free kicks given away on a night when football has definitely been the winner. Derry City then with another sweeping attack. Carlisle in support. Here's Healy, and Jody Byrne somehow managing to keep that one out. Well, quite how that ball didn't go in the net, I don't know. A superb shot by Felix Healy, and Jody Byrne once more proving what a brilliant goalkeeper he is. The little dummy from Carlisle, Healy's shot, and the outstretched leg from Jody Byrne, keeping the score 1-0 to Shelbourne. Carlisle to start things off once more for Derry City, and Healy. These two, the fulcrum around which this whole Derry City team just swings from side to side and from end to end. Brady. Derry City possibly a little unlucky to be still a goal behind. They've certainly had the lion's share of possession in this match. And here's Healy once more, setting Pascal Vodacant free. Chance to shoot, just over the bar. Again, Derry City going so close, and Vodacant always there to support the attack. A lovely switch play by Derry City and Felix Healy, bringing Vodacant into the game again. The cross, headed clear by Duffy. Falls for Healy once more, and yet another astute pass. Vodacant. Shelbourne possibly standing off a bit, and in comes McCarthy. And what a save by Jody Byrne. A great effort by Tony McCarthy, and Jody Byrne once again up to the challenge. Nick Neville couldn't clear it there, and in comes McCarthy with the volley, possibly a deflection on it, and Byrne had to throw himself acrobatically to save that one. Into the final seconds then. Pádraig Dully goes sprawling, but there's no way back for Derry City. The final whistle blown by Pat Kelly, and it's Pat Byrne's side who goes second in the League of Ireland. A superb performance by both sides, a great match. Felix Healy possibly the best man on show, but Derry City's bad run continues, and a 1-0 defeat is the end result on the night.
So the first opportunity presenting itself for Dundalk. Smartly struck. Oh, went wild from Dully. Played back in, and Whelan has to put the ball away to safety with Terry Everston raiding. Dully really mishit that one. It was really on a plate there for Everston just for a moment. Shells bidding to get the 2 points, which would take them level with Cork City in the table, and the referee spotting some pushing. Referee John Spillane from Cork. Alan O'Neill hasn't been too busy so far. Collins. Reynolds. Mackey having to contain the pass out. He's got Cavan on his right, just surveying his options. Oh, it's a well-placed ball inside. Shelley was well positioned, but it won't count in any case because the offside flag was raised against McShelley away on the far side. But a really good ball that time, and an offside against McShelley, who didn't score in any case. McNulty closed down by Pat Byrne, forcing his way forward. Breaks out to Gino Lawless for Dundalk. Dundalk have put together some good results of late. Lawless trying to deny Dermot Judge. Now Ian Hill. Fullback who likes to get forward in towards the head of Dolly. Made it well. It was a lovely cross from Hill, and once again Dolly climbed with great enterprise. Dermot Judge to play it back into the path of Mick Neville. Found a gap. Alan O'Neill equal to it in the 14th minute of the first half. It was rolled delightfully for Neville. He struck it commandingly, and a very good save. Gino Lawless and Martin Lawler. Lawler the one who rolls it forward to Terry Everston. Back to Gino Lawless. He hit it rather well. McNulty. A really good chance that time. Their friends caught rather flat-footed as Gino Lawless came forward from that free kick, and McNulty saw it falling happily into his path, and it produced a good save. Brown again, storming forward. Evanston. Shelley finding Martin Lawler. Neville secure in the air. Lawless gets it down towards the feet of Roddy Collins. Martin Lawler curling it across. Gino Lawless coming in. A good run by Gino Lawless, just needing a touch. Great save, and McNulty puts it away. Tom McNulty has breached the deadlock. After Gino Lawless fairly flew into the clear that time, Jody Byrne produced a marvellous one-handed save, but it fell invitingly for McNulty to put it in after 25 minutes of the first half. One thing you can certainly say about this tie so far is that it's been very eventful and far from negative. Dully, oh, a chance here. Oh, that should have been 1-1 surely. The defence really cut in and dither as that ball came back. Well, how was Dully allowed the latitude in that ball to come his way? But he couldn't put it away. Neville signalling his intentions to Martin Lawler. Dundalk coming looking for a second goal, which might well secure both points. The referee and the linesman concurring there. And an advantage allowed. Evanston, McNulty, a glorious chance. The referee allowed an advantage, I think. The linesman was flagging. Now, whether the linesman was flagging to bring the foul to the referee's attention, I'm not too sure. Well, the ball was played in the clear, and from Evanston back to McNulty, but he couldn't steer it on target. Certainly one of the talking points at the start of the second half. Shelbourne with an opportunity to raid in and around Alan O'Neill's goal. Oh, Dully, I'm not quite sure if he managed to get a touch to that one or not, and indeed Anto Whelan was coming in as well. A very well struck free, and it may well have been Duffy, in fact, who just got the final touch to that one. Hill. Paul New. We wrong foots Ronnie Murphy. Paul New with the chance here. Struck, but not struck as well as Bobby Brown would have wished. But it counts as a chance in the second half, and chances have been few and far between for Shelbourne. Lovely turn by New. The layoff was sweet to Brown, but the final shot leaving a lot to be desired. Byrne. And Shells maintaining their pattern, and their tactic is to plug away, but right now a hole has been plugged in the defence by Tom McNulty, and a gem of a goal! A second for Tom McNulty. Well, it was earnest toil by Shelbourne, but the artistry was coming in from McNulty. Delightful interception, a lovely lob over Jody Byrne, and a thoroughly frustrating night so far for Shells. Well, a very commendable performance so far by Dundalk. Neville. Met well by Ronnie Murphy. Judge beaten in the air. McNulty will be on for the hat-trick now, of course. And for a midfield player, that really is a very fine performance. Kavanagh here. McNulty going across. Met in the air eventually by Collins. Wasn't too far away. Kavanagh provided the ammunition. McNulty was thrusting in there, but it was, I think, Collins who finally made connection. But no luck with his finish. Just 14 minutes remaining now. Shells, who won their last two matches, back-to-back fixtures against Shamrock Rovers, and have been looking good as Ian Hill touches it in, and it's gone in! It's gone in! Paul New may well have just got a head to that one. Well, the break that Shells have required has come inside the last 14 minutes, that flighted cross. And Paul New is the one who gets the credit. Shelley, straight to the feet of Whelan. New, backheels it inside to Brown. Curling it across towards Decours, he leaves it for Pat Byrne. Dully. We'd love to get another strike and goal. Had one in the first half. And really, it's been thoroughly frustrating in the second 45 minutes for him. Neville curling it across. O'Neill comes out. Half gets it away. Evanston, as always, waiting there. What a marvellous match he's played. Collins. Great tackle by Anto Whelan. Really good-hearted fare on offer here at Tolka Park on a cool, crisp November evening. Paul New looking for an equalising goal for Shell, stopped by Gino Lawless. Brown curls it in, Dolly meets it. Well, for a moment I think he felt that that ball might have skidded past Alan O'Neill. The goalkeeper just in a little bit of difficulty, but nonetheless well positioned. Duffy. This is Byrne. So another late chance then for Shelbourne, and it's Shelley. And the referee's whistle sounds, and it's going to be a free kick to Shelbourne with under 4 minutes to go. Paul New. Oh, and it's turned back, and it's gone into the side netting. Oh, it was awfully dangerous. Cole was there nursing that one, Dully as well. The crowd gasped, but it's the side netting. Shells with Reynolds trying to send one down the line there for Paul New, and the fullback Tommy Hartnett had to be particularly alert. Receiving the ball from Grace. It's a depleted looking Limerick side, a side which has already lost something like 11 players this year. So under pressure from the league's top goal scorers. Once again, it's Joe Reynolds. Free kick to Shelbourne. Pat Byrne then with Joe Reynolds beside him, trying to concoct something. So can Reynolds send in a teasing cross? Grace has let it by. Haylock was there, and finally it comes off Julian Lyons. Haylock missed it, and finally it was put away to safety by Julian Lyons. Byrne. Oh, a really well-angled shot by Pat Byrne. Always, however, going up and over the top of the crossbar. Well, regrettably, rather a desultory crowd here at Limerick City. Not too many fans around, really. It's weather for the hip flask. Pat Byrne. Ian Hill trading passes with him. Brown challenged by Milan, and that's going to be Shell's possession. Johnny Milan here, who scored against Shamrock Rovers last weekend. And for pushing on Pat Byrne by Paul Hogan, it's going to be a Shelbourne free kick just outside the Limerick penalty area. Byrne the taker, curled in towards Haylock, and Gary Haylock. Did it cross the line? Yes, it's gone over the line. Pat Byrne's well-intended free held up on the breeze sufficiently for Haylock to add to his 9-goal tally so far this season, and the referee judges that it crossed the line. Swords nodded it on. Oh, a mistake has left in Swords. Oh, a real gift chance presented to him as that pass came wide across the face of the goal. Dreadful error, really, leaving Swords in that time. But in the end, it was quite easy for Jody Byrne. Well, Swords, I think, really should have made it 1-1. I'm sure he couldn't believe his luck given the chance. Haylock. Pat Byrne. Now Gary Haylock, formerly of Huddersfield Town. Reynolds. So Byrne once again. This is Bobby Brown. Milan trying to present a challenge to him. Bobby Brown is taken down by Limerick's number 3, and it ends up being a Shelbourne free kick. So John Grace poised and ready to handle whatever perils may accrue from this free, and he didn't look too comfortable. Brown once again trying to open one up here for Pat Byrne to cut it back from the dead ball line. Rod the course, Haylock! so near to being number 2 for Gary Haylock. Well, inevitably, Pat Byrne was the one who sent in that teasing cross to Coors, Haylock, and outside. Grace from Milan. So wind-assisted Limerick City trailing by 1-0, striving to come on level terms before the interval, but the flag is up for offside against a couple of Limerick City forwards. Neville, Woodwright, nicely judged shot, and Paul New, off balance, has put it outside. Brown, Hartnett dipping in. It gives it to the other full-back, Milan. Ray Duffy, judging it to a tee. So with the wind whistling around Rathbone, it's Shells who break once more. Byrne, Gary Haylock. Again, there's Paul New on the left-hand side, making himself available. Gary Haylock having the strength to take it forward, and Grace produces a good save. So the player manager with the throw. Haylock once again. Pat Byrne, Donald Lyons with the interception. Inside the last 30 seconds of the first half, it has had about a half a dozen, I suppose, interesting moments. Ryan, back towards Haylock. Shells. Curley, New, a chance to clip the goalkeeper for number 2 on the call of half-time. 45 minutes gone, and it's Paul New's 11th goal of the season. Created by Haylock, delightfully cut back to Paul New, wrong foot in the defence, and it sailed delightfully over the head of John Grace. Shells 2, Limerick City 0. Well, Jody Byrne rather curiously opting to kick that ball from the ground. I think there was a call, perhaps from his player manager, to pick the ball up. Bobby Brown. Can he take it round Donald Lyons? Well, not on this occasion, as Lyons commits the foul. And Shelbourne once again have a free kick in what, from Limerick's point of view, is a very tricky situation. Pat Byrne, the free taker, off the goal post and put away, or is it? No! Oh, an incredible sequence of events as Paul New fails to get Shell's 3rd goal and his own 2nd. And Hill beaten on a strong run by Brian Swords. And if he looks up, he'll see that Barry Ryan is on his right-hand side. Neville, eyes down, all concentration. Oh, a handball that time surely by Paul Hogan. Neville. Good deep ball towards Paul New. Good looking chance there, so he's put it over the top. Well, a long ball into space. Finding Paul New, such great pace, but he couldn't just keep it down. Limerick City in trouble once again, and it's Gary Haylock trying to ray down in goal. Was he tripped? It's very near the penalty area. The referee was right up with it, and perhaps he just saw it as a fair challenge. Hartnett. But Limerick really failing to deal with the challenge presented by Gary Haylock and Paul New in attack. And this is Haylock looking for a 3rd one, but it sails harmlessly out and over. Pushed by Duffy on Swords. Free kick to Limerick City, taken quickly. Des Kiley. Well, Limerick have only scored 7 goals in the season so far, and Barry Ryan had again stepped into an offside position, and it really has become dreadfully monotonous this afternoon. DeCour's long throw towards Paul New's head, touchdown for Pat Byrne, on for Gary Haylock. It should be 3, but it's not. DeCour's for New, for Pat Byrne, for Gary Haylock, and really, I think one of the top scorers in the league should have done a little bit better.
Come on, Red! How about the push it?
Brown. Here's Ian Hill. Back dangerously, and it's Julian Lyons who clears his lines. Pat Byrne. Bobby Brown. So Pat Byrne, I'm sure, will be very pleased to take 2 points from Rathban and keep Shell's title challenge alive as Paul New wins another corner off the diving body of John Grace. But there's been so much pressure on John Grace's goal this afternoon. Curled in by Joe Reynolds. Goalkeeper is lost completely, and it's Anto Whelan who punches the air with delight. Shells 3, Limerick City 0, and Anto Whelan is the goal scorer. Well, it was cut in beautifully by the number 3, Joe Reynolds. Goalkeeper was lost completely. Perhaps Ray Duffy had just got in his way, and Anto Whelan plants his 2nd league goal of the season. Pat Byrne, and that's on towards McNeville, just holding that ball up for New and for Bobby Brown to make a run on the right-hand side to add to Shell's goals tally, perhaps. And finally it was Johnny Mullane who just got the nod on it and waited for John Grace to come and gather. Pat Byrne trying to push up on Alan Shanahan. Bobby Brown had made himself available with that good run on the right-hand side. Here's Shanahan. Reynolds there just trying to close down the path to goal, however. Very tight marking Shell's defence in this second half. They may have given the odd glimmer of hope to Limerick on, I think, 2 occasions in the first 45 minutes, but they really have been quite mean about providing chances in the 36 minutes we've had of the second half so far. Jerry Chung, encouraged by the fans to go the other way. Back from Kiley to Shung. Heading it there for Lyons. Lyons against Pat Byrne. Knocking one forward towards Rod DeCour's. Oh, and it's gone outside. So very near to being number 4 for Rod DeCour's, the midfield player. Well, the message is for Limerick and to come and to join the fun, but I'm not too sure that the fans here are enjoying the fun so far. Back with the match. Ian Hill. Ray Duffy. And Whelan winding himself up to lob it forward towards Gary Haylock. Cut out, however, by Mullane. Back to Pat Byrne. Waiting for somebody to make a burst forward from the left-hand side. Paul News made himself available. Gary Haylock, meanwhile, is waiting inside for the pass to come into him. Bobby Brown to curl one across. There are a couple of players there. McDermott planted it for Haylock's 2nd goal of the match. Lovely combined individual play as that pass came wide for Paul McDermott for a neat touchdown. Haylock's on hand, and that's goal number 11 for the season. 4-0. Allen. Tracy. He really is a committed performer here, John Tracy. Supported by Tony O'Connor against Dermot Judge. Tracy with the throw, down for Mark Ennis, stopped however by McNeville. O'Connor, as Pat's bid to lift the tempo of the game once again. Lawless, good turn. Neat control and a fine challenge by Ronnie Allen. Moody. Fleming. Rather ambitiously into the centre, stopped by DeCour's. Oh, it comes off the defender, McNeville. Lawless is through. Number 1, surely. He still can't get it in. He's got it now. Mark Ennis. Mark Ennis adds to his goals tally after that ball came through to Joe Lawless. He split the defence. Neville was in trouble.
and when it fell to Mark Ennis, he slid it coolly home for the lead goal for St. Pat's.
Moody, assisted by Kelch, comes out as far as Rodden Decors. Well, the first chance of the second half then falling to Shelbourne. Decors with the shot, but it was always going up and outside. Moody taking the goal kick. Claimed by Ronnie Allen. Fleming, so assured on the ball. Player always well worth coming to see. And Mark Ennis is in the clear. A chance for number 2. Fenlon's an assistant, so to Curtis Fleming. And Curtis Fleming gets his second league goal of the season, but the offside flag is up. Well, that is rather amazing. Pats will protest. Initially, it seemed that there might have been an offside. We didn't see a flag on that occasion. Ennis carried it forward. There were options available to him, Fenlon and Curtis Fleming, but the linesman clearly saw an offside, and the goal does not count. O'Connor. Ennis free on this left-hand side. Space opening up ahead of him. Lawless making a run at the far side, and it's just gone over. Oh, it was a lovely ball into space initially to Mark Ennis. He had support away at the far side, but he also had the enterprise and initiative to try and prize a second goal, and he was just inches over the top. This is an interesting move, bringing on Mark Gill and taking off the defender Ronnie Allen. It now means that Shells, who once had 5 in defence at one stage of their league campaign, now have just 3. So caution being thrown to the wind for the remaining minutes. Hill. The amazing statistic is that it's still 1-0. Gill. Oh, it's 1-1. Absolutely amazing. Mark Gill, the substitute, has given Shells a lifeline in this League of Ireland Championship. After Lawless missed a gift at the other end, Gill nipped in with a stunning shot and beat Dave Henderson all ends up. So now is there a winner? Well, when you consider that St. Pat's, with Mark Ennis and Lawless in particular, had been causing a lot of problems at the other end, Shells have come and they've stolen an equaliser, and now they're seeking a winner perhaps. Kelch. In truth, the score at this point of the match could easily be 4-1 to St. Pat's in my view. So will the champions now be left to rue their many missed chances, first half and second half? Kelch. Free kick then to St. Pat's. So is it to be Ennis then? Oh, brilliantly so! Oh, that's a super goal by Mark Ennis, his second of the match. Pats were on level terms for only 2 minutes with Shells. Ennis said, I can do it, and so he did. An absolute bullet. So it has to be from this for Shelbourne. Kelch has put it by for a corner. A late chance for the Reds. Reynolds is to be the taker. A left-footed player who'll try to curl this ball in front of goalkeeper Dave Henderson, who lets it down. Pat's in trouble, and the referee has signalled for a foul on the goalkeeper, and it's going to be a free out. Shells and Ray Duffy protesting vigorously that the goalkeeper had been challenged fairly, had dropped it, and it was fair game, as it were. The referee saw it otherwise. So the champions hang on.
Good attendance on this Thursday night at Oriel Park. Of course, these two teams battling for a place in Europe in the UEFA Cup. Costello. Duffy. And now Hill. Straight to Lawless. Everston. Shelley. Oh, again they've beaten the offside trap. It's Mick Shelley homing in on goal. And Jody Byrne making the save. Well, it's been all Dundalk pressure, all right, but no goals as yet to show for it. Turlough O'Connor wondering if it's to be a second consecutive game without a goal. Lawless trying to break through, and that's a foul. Is it a penalty? Well, the referee says that that took place outside the area, and to be fair, he was close enough to it. Certainly Lawless fell inside the area, and was that challenge inside? Well, it was a very close thing. This is what they've got, and Hanrahan scores! And in the first minute of the second half, Peter Hanrahan puts behind him 4 barren games. Dundalk's top scorer is back on the gold standard with his 12th of the season. Still it's Mick Kavanagh, Hanrahan ahead. Instead he's gone for Collins. Collins trying his luck with a shot, and Jody Byrne happy to see it go over the top of his hands. Hanrahan and Kavanagh. Teasing Reynolds and digging out the cross, and Burns lost it! It's there! And that has to go down. Well, if it had counted as an error against the goalkeeper, but Peter Hanrahan's goal will not stand. And Kavanagh teasing Reynolds out the right, and he pulled off a magnificent cross. Byrne had lost it. In came Hanrahan. Now, he did make contact with Byrne, and I suppose in the modern day that counts as a foul on the keeper. To go. Straight to Lawless, and that's a great ball by Lawless. And offside is awarded, and that never was. And that really has to go down as a poor decision. Keenan finding no way past Gino Lawless. And Hanrahan intercepting. And no handball. Hanrahan homing in on goal. Still it's Peter Hanrahan. Support from Kavanagh. Hanrahan still there and scoring. And the sheer delight of it all as Peter Hanrahan knocks in a second and surely secures the points for Dundalk.
Talca Park in excellent condition, and Dave Barry to Philip Long, and Long past Hill, and that cross well held by Jody Byrne. First time we've seen Cork City. 10 minutes gone in the first half. Philip Long towards Cormac Cotter, and cleared by Joe Reynolds. And a mistake by Pat Byrne, and Dave Barry with the chance. Anto Whelan across to cover. And a corner kick given. Dave Barry sneaking in behind the Shells defence. And the deflection there. So still no goals, as Pat Byrne spreads it wide for Ian Hill. Several players to aim at, one of them Val Keenan. Away from Liam Murphy, a chance to shoot, and that wasn't very far away. Into the side netting, Phil Harrington seemed to have it covered. Good play though by Val Keenan, saw the opportunity, and the shot crisply struck. Too many chances created in this opening half so far, but Cork City applying a lot of pressure here on Shelbourne. Whelan can't get it away. Cotter's header back to Caulfield, he's onside. And he really should have done better. Surprised perhaps to find himself in so much space, John Caulfield. Shelbourne unable to clear the ball. Such was the pressure from Cork City. Won by Daly. Reynolds and Pat Byrne forced to go backwards to Ian Hill. Cork City hoping to find their way to the top of the Bord Gáis League tonight, and winning a free kick there. Dully the offender on Liam Murphy. Michael Conroy back to his keeper Phil Harrington, who wants to get away from Cork City. He's put in a transfer request recently. Long kick headed on and away by Shelbourne, but they can't get it out of their own half. Brogan to Anto Whelan. And here's Dave Barry. Nicely past Pat Byrne. And that's Pat Morley picking out Philip Long. A great pass. The cross towards Cotter. And it's 1-0 to Cork City. 31 minutes gone. And a textbook goal. Philip Long with the measured cross. And Cotter easily beating Jody Byrne. So Cork City on course to go top of the Bord Gáis League. Murphy's long clearance to Pat Morley. And that wasn't very far away. Good shot by Pat Morley. The mistake by Anto Whelan. And Morley saw the opportunity at the far post, across the bows of Jody Byrne, and just wide. Now Shelbourne, can they come back? Dully, Hill, past Armstrong, and a good cross towards New, and I don't think he realised quite how much time he had there. A free header for Shelbourne, and a good chance for Paul New, their top goal scorer this season. Duffy winning that in the air. Barry breaking it up for Cork City, headed on by Caulfield, and Morley falls to Whelan. Dully with the touch. Can't find a Shelbourne player, and the long clearance from Mick Conroy, and it breaks for Pat Morley, and that's 2-0. A superbly taken goal by Pat Morley, the top scorer for Cork City this season. Really made that look easy, much to the delight of the travelling contingent. The touch on from Caulfield, Morley onside, and he really picked his spot in the bottom left corner. Long ball forward from Shelbourne, cleared by Declan Daly. Pat Byrne trying to get Peter Coyle behind the defence, and Philip Long's challenge giving away the corner kick to Shelbourne, who really haven't played up to their usual standard, but they haven't been let either. Cross towards the near post and through everybody. Anto Whelan was so close to getting in on that one. A great chance for Shelbourne. How did they all miss that at the near post? And there's Anto Whelan arriving in the 6-yard box, but he just couldn't make contact. Dully to Byrne. Shelbourne trying to force their way back into the tie. Ian Hill. From Ray Duffy by Pat Morley. The player's back for Shelbourne, and he's forced to spread it to the far side. That's Armstrong to Barry, and that was just over the bar. A good shot from Dave Barry, one of the best players on the night for Cork City. Coyle headed down by Dully to Bobby Brown. Coyle's long ball. Caulfield coming off Morley and cleared by Cork City. And that's Cormac Cotter on the run. Number 4 there is Anto Whelan with him. Cork City with the 2-goal advantage. The third goal would surely kill the match. The long throw in towards Declan Hyde, and here's Morley. And blocked again by Whelan. And back it comes to Caulfield. And here's a chance for Philip Long. Great effort off the crossbar. Jody Byrne surely beaten there. best shot we've seen tonight, really, from outside the box. Philip Long holds his head in wonder there. How did that one stay out? Here's the shot again, curling away from Jody Byrne, and the woodwork saving Shelbourne. Header on from Brown towards Duffy, who's moved forward. Phil Harrington in some trouble there. Still in play, and Harrington down injured. And eventually Philip Long is the one who clears it away. This is a moment of some worry for the Cork City bench. And indeed, a bad injury for Phil Harrington. The stretcher called for. It'll be interesting to see who goes into goal. Harrington so vital for Cork City this season, and a handshake there from Pat Byrne. And it's John Caulfield who goes in between the sticks, a Gaelic footballer who won a Junior All-Ireland last season, so well used to handling the round ball. Here come Cork City again. Dave Barry and Joe Reynolds under pressure. And here's Dully. And a chance maybe for Bobby Brown to have a shot. And straight at the new goalkeeper. First time he's had to handle the ball since he went between the posts. Bobby Brown getting the shot on target. And there goes the final whistle on a night when Cork City go top of the league with goals from Cormac Cotter in the first half and Pat Morley in the second. A comfortable victory for them against Shelbourne.